Fantastic.
We're streaming.
All right. Welcome back. This is Season 2, Episode 15 of Dresden Files Accelerated. We're calling this one the end. Because last time on Dresden Files Accelerated, you beat the game! Congratulations. Yeah? No? No celebratory remarks?
I think I won.
You did win. Thomas won.
Oh, yeah,
And
I forgot.
For Thomas to win, let's go back and do a little bit of a Season 2 recap. So we started this whole season with the episode Baggage, where we were introduced to the Cybersucha, the crazy scientists that were doing genetically modified creature experiments. And you guys met a couple of them at the airport, fought some strange creatures, had a big old aircraft explosion happen. You met some other NPCs like Thomas's good buddy. Thomas, you remember his name?
Frank.
Frank, that's right. Frank Doyle. In the second episode, Offense, you guys met the water bear shark, and you met Razzo, and you guys went through a wharf crime scene to try to figure out what the fuck was going on at the wharf. And you fought more of these Cybersucha creatures and learned more about what they were doing. They were here for a competition called a dark competition. And in episode 3, Obstacles, you guys infiltrated the dark competition and stuck your own little creatures in to the competition. I think Trump was there, Razzo competed, and Malcolm drank at the bar. You guys successfully went through that competition too. What are you going to say, Thomas? Sorry. Kizik.
Malcolm, didn't he bring Kevin? His Kevin immediately got kicked out.
I mean, we wouldn't have remembered that. That's a normal thing. You did forget about the squirrel and the bunnies, though.
Oh, man, that first magic guy. He was real big.
The big-ass squirrels, the big-ass bunny. Was that in Season 2 or is that Season 1?
I thought it was in Season 2. It all
Maybe
blurs together. I don't know.
I'm all fucked up. Well, in episode 4, Bane, you guys actually met up with the gargoyles and a guy named Jimmy Brooks and the agents 10 and Peller. We learned more about Frank Doyle and his son, Jimmy. I'm sorry, his son wasn't Jimmy. His son knew Jimmy. And you guys basically trapped some gargoyles and got some crazy things going on. In episode 5, Idols, you guys went to that mental asylum, and you went to Cavallo Concrete. You also ran into Floyd the cat. That crazy cat. I miss Floyd. In 6, Extremes, you went to the Cavallo Mansion and destroyed some gargoyles there. And then you guys had an auction house fight. You guys remember the dragon? The auction house?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a really tough fight that we barely made it through.
I like how sarcastic you are about it.
I don't know what you mean.
In episode 7, in Servitors, you guys took on...
You left out the part where we took care of the thing that was causing all the problems.
The thing causing all the problems in the auction house? The gargoyles.
We just opened a portal and sent it away.
The gargoyles cursed like Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, we just opened a portal and dropped it in the Never Never, and they all like started falling apart.
Yeah, you've been dropping things in the Never Never this whole time. I didn't forget, but in season 2, every problem basically you guys solved with using Harold's chalk, drawing a circle and dropping it into the Never Never.
I'd like to protest the GM's use of the term "you guys."
You were a part of it.
I definitely asked for input every single time, and I did nothing without saying something to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but yeah, had I said that's probably a bad idea, you'd have done it anyway.
I mean, yeah.
If I would
Uh,
have said that's a bad idea,
I-
I would have gone in with it.
I was pretty sure I didn't ask anyone anything ever, but clearly I don't remember things well. Did I
Well, do
really
you
ask
guys?
you guys first?
I
That's
think you
sarcasm,
mentioned
right?
like you were going to say something. You were gonna say something, but I
Don't worry,
think you
guys.
just
I
did it.
got this.
In episode 7, in Servitors, I think this was my favorite one. You guys faced Iota, and you guys took down the nanobite swarm. That one was a good one for me. I like that one a lot. Then we moved on to 8, which was Altered, where you guys investigated Bert Jaka's murder. 9 for Ritual. You guys found Bert Jaka's dream catcher and his lair. In Elysium 10, you guys took out those little bastard tooth fairies and your dream doppelgangers. And Sansa died. And then you brought her back.
And
in-
then
Damn
and
right
then
we
we
did.
sucked
Have
the
you seen
life
her?
out of something. The
Yep.
dream power.
Oniro, that was the first time you faced down Oniro, and yeah, you guys drained him. And I think that was really the start of Thomas's upward flight to become the dream god. Because in Gamble, you guys met up with Sergeant Slumberjack. New Detroit was in ruins and in dream mode, and you guys fought the Dream Army and saved your families. And then in Rift, you guys rescued more allies, and you fought towards the stadium in New Detroit. You took it over, got into the monorail, and slid up out of there for the next episode, Empire's Fall, which was the Death Star. You rescued citizens and fought your way towards the command center. And then last episode was Adversary, where you guys really fought Oniro and Rake, one of the 13 rats. And you figured out that General Mayhem was really Hildolfir, Malcolm's brother. And so we catch up with our people now and New Detroit City because we're going to say goodbye. And I think that we should all figure out what happens to New Detroit in the next 10 years. Have you guys thought about any of this in the time that we've not been playing?
No.
I haven't really thought about the city, but I did think that I wanted a nice happy ride into the sunset ending for Redicus.
Well, what you got? What you got, Redicus? What's your ride into the sunset ending?
I mean, I wasn't being very specific about it, but city comes back to normal was my thinking. Good guys win, bad guys lose. I like those kind of endings. Redicus ends up with a gaggle of kids, lives happily ever after. Very amused by his two best friend shenanigans as they continue to have their own adventures. Probably very entertained even more by Thomas's evolution and social status.
So we've got our Raven camera and it's flying down to Victor, Redicus, and Stephanie, and they've got a gaggle of kids. They're standing together, surrounded by their kids, and they're both smiling at this Raven as it flies by. Stephanie's gazing proudly at her latest invention. Some thing for Spell Shield Inc., right? Was the company?
I think that's what we went with.
Yeah. She's making a fucking killing with this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sugar Mama.
in the 10 years, that you guys have been protecting the city, she's been really selling these things to the White Council and anybody else with magical ability that wants to use technology. She's making a killing. Thomas, what are you up to in the 10 years?
Thomas is very confused and often shows up in Redicus's dreams like, hey, so This girl Summer. No, you called her the Summer Queen. No, yes. Well, she's asking me to do a whole bunch of things, and you just said I got to do them, but like I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit scared. So, all right, it's nice to see you. Hey, that's another kid. Cool, bye. Just pops back out and is trying. Like he's struggling to keep everything together. Um, but he's still like he once rule everybody in Detroit has been sleeping peacefully because he feels like, oh, you had a rough like what is it, 10 or 15 years that we were out there saving it. So everybody going to like it's now the city of sleep where everyone's just super comfortable every time they sleep. And Thomas is trying to like make all of the dreams connected. Like he's trying to put other people in dreams together, and he's trying to play matchmaker through like the dream realm. But he always checks in on his wife, always checks in on his daughter, and every now and then he'll try to check in on the big guy, but he doesn't sleep very often. But every time he dreams, like he tries to put him with the other like demigod, and they just battle in their dreams, and he just laughs at it.
That's a good way to challenge one friend to another. It's in a dream world that you can't really die in.
Yeah.
Pretty cool way to do that. Your daughter Rebecca is in her early 20s at the end of this 10 years, and she's had that tiara crown thing that we talked about briefly. I think I mentioned that it was angelic in nature. It has its own little angel inside of it. That angel's name was Vonkar, and Rebecca becomes a dream walker and helps you with all of the dream quests that you've got or any protecting that you need. Rebecca's there at your side to help you through that. Maybe she even starts a Dreamwalker guild where you actually have like a competent staff that can help you do things.
She's like an original. I give her the one of the original people that I absorbed, so that her and I are ever together in this dream world whenever she chooses to. Oh man, that's so nice.
Brilliant. I think Rachel, your wife too, she understands the summer relationship that you have to have now with this mantle. Amithriel's helping her through that. I think she would help you too if you let her.
1,000%. Yeah. I'm sorry, wife. I've got to go rail my like other wife. Like you understand though, right?
Oh yeah, well, she would assume that she was just automatically invited to do that.
Yeah. Just oh man, we're in the dream world too. So oh man, this is pretty fun.
It's definitely lasting more than 15 seconds at a time.
Yeah. I can make them float now. It's perfect.
And you said you were kind of checking on the big guy, but he doesn't dream very often. Malcolm, you've been accepted into Asgard to fight alongside your father, Odin. And the first thing that he asks you to do is to pass judgment on Hidalfir. What do you do?
Ooh, good one. Well, he's going to take some demoting. We're not going to kill him, but he's got to work his way back up.
Okay. So you give him tasks to complete?
Yep. Yeah, we give him tasks to complete that he like the labors of Hercules. Except
Okay.
that they're comic book superhero related.
Okay. Yeah, that could be really cool.
Yep. He has to create a team and basically take the brunt off whatever we were doing to help the city or cities.
Okay.
And he gets a hammer. Not mine.
Hidalfir.
Yeah, not mine. Not my hammer, but he does get a hammer. It's not as good.
That
But I
makes
remember he
sense.
was kind of unhappy because, he didn't get a hammer.
Yeah. That's true. He was kind of shunted his entire life by the gods. He was just treated terribly, but you're here in Asgard, commanding lightning and being Thor, and you're accompanied by your loyal companion Nasher, the rainbow farting flying goat, and you continue to defend alongside both your girlfriends, Beth and Katie, who in the past 10 years have become extremely powerful witches in their own right. They've become comrades with Lady Zadza and the Maulers and the Black Diamond, who have all basically come up against Mayor Buttocks when you guys get back. And Buttocks has been cast down to hell to stay with Lady Glacia, if you guys remember her. So he is now a servant of Lady Glacia, and he will continue out his remainder millennia, being tortured for being incompetent, as it should be. I think everybody that is incompetent should be tortured for millennia.
I notice a harem theme going on here. I'm just pointing it out.
I think that was kind of what we wanted. Everybody individually wanted these things. I don't know why. What do you guys think? Who do you think would become mayor next? Juanita Sanchez or Dan the intern?
I want to say Juanita, but it's probably Dan. What do you guys think?
Yeah, probably the intern.
He knows too many people's secrets.
Yeah.
So Juanita continues being chief of police, and Dan the intern becomes mayor, and the city actually prospers, and a renaissance occurs within the city. There's far less people living here than there used to be. Don't know why. Just most of them didn't come back after the war. But the people that are here are very well protected by every supernatural entity in the city. None of them are really in danger. You guys have removed any black spot from the supernatural community, which is fantastic.
Is the veil still lifted? Like everybody just walks around? There's fairies flying. There's goblins walking around.
Well, Mr. God of Dreams, what do you want it to be?
I want it to be just super, super open. Everybody's just out in the open. You have to, like, once you enter the actual city limits, the old dream bubble, like you either like subconsciously, because that's what I control when I'm in dreams. Like if you subconsciously already know, you can see everything. If you don't know, then we put the shimmer back up and you don't see anything. But you also feel a little bit weird and you want to leave.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like pushing people out that don't want to be a part of it. But if you're into it,
yeah,
you can see it. Got it.
See all the things. If you're oblivious and just confused as to why people look weird and I want to be mean to them because they're weird, get out of here.
Okay. No bullies allowed.
Yeah. If you want to be a tooth fairy, go on and be some tooth fairies. But go find a guy that grows teeth back real fast.
Oh, because there's totally people like that in the city now. And everybody, I think with the city being the way that it is going to be, Hopper, the goblin, and his food truck can do very well. So Hopper's Poppers is going to go viral and just be the happening spot. Maybe Hopper even starts a physical restaurant after getting his Hopper's Poppers going.
Hopper's Poppers and Dr. Donuts merged into one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dr. Donuts. He gets the franchise because I believe Dr. Donut got killed or died or left, got arrested, whatever. Hopper would get the recipe, and he would get the franchise,
And he would have hands on it. He would not forget his friends.
Right.
So how's that go down to him? Like he's a multi-millionaire, but he still works every day?
He probably got a loan from Stephanie, and that's how he got started out.
Work is a strong
there you
word.
go.
Work is a strong word. It's a guy who takes donuts and dips them in powdered cocaine and sells them for ridiculous amounts of money.
He
And
doesn't
gets away
even
with
make the
it.
donuts. He goes to his competitor and buys their cast-offs.
Yep.
He doesn't even have the overhead of running his own machines.
There's no like so if you go to the back of the Dr. Donut store, it's literally just a front they dropped on the front of a Krispy Kreme, right? And so like the public can't get to the Krispy Kreme, so he gets all of them, and they're just filled with drugs. You know, he's got a jelly ecstasy filled one. He's got cocaine powdered ones. He's got cocaine powdered and jelly ecstasy filled.
There were young donut and drug comer-uppers that are like, hey, I'd like to present you this croissant that's dipped in black tar heroin. And he goes, no, it's raw. And he starts screaming at him.
It's fucking raw.
Oh.
And he would know. He used to eat people raw way back in the day. You guys first met him. What do you think would happen to Sergeant Slumberjack? He'd just be tagging along, or he would go his own way when he gets back?
Was he allowed back?
He was so close to being murdered a couple times because Chris and I were sure he was a plant.
Yeah, we were actually, since we're in the last session, there was an entire chat stream of, do we kill him now? Like, we both know.
Yeah. Like that there was this one moment too where you'd had him do something that I told Chris, I was like, this is it, get ready, we're gonna smash him. And it turned out we misunderstood the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. I want to say I was the voice of reason, but only because I didn't think that was the tactically operative moment. It wasn't because I thought he was a good guy. It was because, like, no, you got to wait until blah. I can't remember what it was.
Do you guys have a chat between all three of you, or is it just? Oh yeah, like, no. When I want out of it, when I think it's pertinent, like, look, I know better than to give Kizik information like that.
Oh no,
that's just gonna go. That's the same way that people don't give me information like that unless I come up with it on my own, because that to me that's permission to act, right? Whereas I know that if I tell Chris this, right, that's a voice of reason.
Also, Kizik doesn't need a chat because we go to lunch every day. So we what do you think we talk about? We talk about tabletop, and he's learned to predict my thinking so well that I don't need a chat with him, which is really unfortunate in some of the games I'm GMing, because in the Traveler campaign twice, in our pre-sessions, he's just been like, oh, this is going to go like this. And I've been like, close notebook, scratch. Okay, now I need a new plan.
Right. That is pretty brutal. Brutal.
My point is, Kizik and I will never be the voice of reason for each other.
That is also a true story.
If the two of us start messaging things like that, the game is ended. Things are out of control. It will never regain control.
Gotcha.
I would get that message and say, "Oh, do you want us to kill you? Like, you're acting a little bit suspicious right now. Like, why are you behind us?"
No chill at all. Hey, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. In either case, if Kizik messages me or if I message Kizik, we assume this is being done because we are supposed to do something, and we will do it. No questions asked.
Gotcha.
Like, that is just straight up. That is how that would work. Whereas with Chris, I know that it's a voice of reason.
Yeah, but you say that, but when you first sent me that message, I was already thinking it. When you said it, I was like, this is permission. I could just turn around and shoot this guy in the head right now.
It was. Okay, it was either permission for you, but like, I trust your judgment more so than I trust, say, me or Jeremy's judgment.
You have no idea how close I came to just murdering him and being like, Maul's going to back me up.
I was close a couple times. That's why I messaged you. I was like, all right, just chill. This could maybe misreading this.
I guess the bottom line of that was good job with the red herring, Mr. GM, because I was sold.
Yeah. I loved Slumberjack because he was one of those characters that I put him in, and I didn't know how he was going to be. I was like, he's going to be the suspicious one, definitely. Like, they are going to be suspicious of him immediately. But he also has a lot of knowledge. So let's see. Like, if they shoot him right off the bat, they don't get all of this extra shit. And he did make it really easy for you guys. With, like, everything going on.
That's exactly what I did with Dale in the Traveler campaign.
That's great. Yeah, I love Dale.
I mean, I knew actually that's not completely true because I started from the beginning, and I think you did this with Sergeant. I started by saying he is a bad guy. Like he is. You have to understand that he has no morals. He's a bad guy, and you can sense this by talking to him. But he's a useful bad guy. And look at how far along he went.
Yep, absolutely. Became a not a trusted confidant.
No. If you have a more than one in intelligence and you trust him, I'm going to be like, are you really playing your character?
Right. Yeah, he's not trusted at all. All right, so I think we've gone and we touched base on most of the pivotal characters here. Have I not brought up somebody that you guys want to follow up on? Like the Maulers, of course, they just continue motorcycle riding through the city, loving every bit of it.
They don't need to put on like that's just them going to court now.
They can just stay in their own bodies when they go and be lawyers. Absolutely.
At some point, Malcolm will visit his friend, the guy with the cult that was hunting him.
Damon. Yes.
Yeah. At some point, Malcolm will visit him. Just drop in out of the blue, smite the living fucking shit out of him, just so he knows for a fact that there was never a chance.
There was never a chance.
Yep.
So yeah, when you teleport to him or get to him, and however you make it, I guess you bring Nasher with you. His demi-plane is like a giant Roman Colosseum, and he sits on this massive throne overlooking the Colosseum as people fight in front of him. And so you just show up out of the fucking blue right in the middle of a match and just smite the shit
I
out
feel
of
like
him
it was
while
just
he's
like
sitting
in the middle
chair.
of the match. There's just this whistling noise, and it gets louder and louder and louder and louder until he lands
They throw him off the chain, throw him off of his throne, pick up his throne, and beat him just shy of death with his own throne. Just so he knows.
Maybe spit on him.
No, it's gross. Way worse you can do. I'll let Nasher do that.
Let Nasher just chew on him for a little bit.
I'll let Nasher pee on him.
Who takes Trump full time?
That's all.
Harold.
I guess that would be Harold. Yeah.
You want
He
Harold to
exists
take
in
Trump?
Dream World, right?
Absolutely.
I'll trade Trump for Razzo. Razzo can't get in the Dream World very well.
Oh, okay.
So Razzo can go to Harold.
I thought you were going to say for the Summer Queen. I was going to be like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, how do you think that relationship's going with the Summer Queen, by the way?
It's very subservient. Like
It's however she wants.
I really want to like her, but I also am terrified with every word that she says.
You have learned.
It's a good strategy.
You do understand.
It's a good strategy. You might survive.
You're always wrong. She's always right.
Yeah, you're always wrong unless you agree that she's right. In which case, you're only right because she wants you to be.
And you still feel bad about it.
Yeah, you do.
Could have been worse, man. Could have been the Winter Queen.
Yeah. There was a wizard who made a bunch of like domestic products. I've looked real hard to find all of those to help out around
that's brilliant.
Summer household.
Yes, okay. The Higgs devices. Absolutely. Yeah, you would find all the Higgs devices and put them together. There was a vacuum that would just run by itself, and a coffee maker that you never had to fill with water or coffee. It just ran. That kind of stuff.
The trash can that just always emptied.
Yeah, emptied
Once
out
it's all
to
the way
somewhere.
full, the bag just turned perfectly, went to the edge. So
Yeah.
we still got a trash service in the Dream World.
So how do you think that Neutroid exists like within the United States. Does everybody outside the United States now go there because it's Dream World, or do you guys just leave it, like keep it a secret?
The people that know.
So it is a mecca for supernatural entities that want to visit Dream World.
Yeah, as long as their visits are, they don't
Not
want to
mo-
cross. Yeah,
Right.
and they don't want to cross any lines. We have a harsh policy on miscreants.
There's rules, huh?
It's like a ESPN 9, the Fey Worlds, where Neutroid is come visit Neutroid. All your dreams can come true.
Except those ones that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no. If there's wetness involved in your dream, we're probably out. Well, I don't know. Come talk to me.
There's a strip club, Purgatory. You could send people there. All right, so Razzo goes to live with Harold. Harold's going to do some craziness. In the 10 years of this epilogue, he and the scientists that he's gathered make a move to become part of the accorded nations within the Fae. So he wants to be invited to the Never Never, and he's going to try to join the Accords. And I don't know if he's going to get it or not. What do you think? What do you think would happen?
I mean, I'd give him my support. So if he needed someone to sign off on it, I'm definitely one of the signatories.
Okay, you would sign on?
Yep.
Redicus would come out of retirement to help that. He owes Harold a lot. He also likes Harold.
Thomas would also back him. As long as Summer says it's okay.
So you would get him in on the Summer side, and then we'd have Malcolm on the Odin's front to help him get in. So yeah, he would get in, and then he would come to you late one night, maybe at a bar. He would gather all of you guys up, give you a phone call. Hey, I'd like to talk to each and one of you. Why don't you come down to the old watering hole next to Trinity Solutions? You guys all meet him down at the what was that place called? The Nine Realms. There it is. And old Harold's sitting there at the bar. He looks at you guys and he says, "Gents, it has been a lot of fun. I liked playing this game with you, and I learned a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be invited to come along on the next one, but I wish you guys the best of luck." He holds his hand out.
And it splits into 3, and we all shake it at the same time.
Yeah, perfect. It's tentacles out, like a Stretch Armstrong-esque kind of thing. The Never Never wasn't really designed for people, things like me, chaotic things like me. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys signing on. Well, things from the outside specifically weren't supposed to be a part of the Accord.
Like me?
Oh, you're totally on the end. You're on the inside there. You're good. I think your position with the Summer Queen is just perfect. Like
One could say it's pretty inside.
You could say positions.
Positions.
You could say it's positioned. Yeah. He's well positioned to be on the inside.
Yes, that's very true. And I'm glad that it worked out this way. It worked out perfectly for me, you might say. So, gents, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Would you like a drink? I'll buy you one.
Yeah, let's go for it. It's not drugged, are they? So slam it down.
Does this have drugs in it? Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Harold gets a
what's
big-
to happen? He doesn't wake up.
Yep. Harold gets a big toothy grin. On to the next one.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. I'm gonna miss Dresden, I think. It was one of those games that anything could fucking happen in. Physics didn't matter, magic didn't matter. Because it's the fate system, you could just throw anything in there as long as it narratively, could be explained. It was a good time.
I think my favorite moment was the three of us were in the house with that random person, and he was like, "Yeah, there's they're making gargoyles up at the old concrete plant," and Archon just leaves, and I go, I gotta go, and just follow him.
Yep. I enjoyed the gargoyle storyline. Although I gotta say, that may not have been like that was a really good moment. But I kind of enjoyed the early investigative stuff a little bit. I also enjoyed like when the Halo characters showed up and they were all like hybrid characters. That just tickled me to death. I really enjoyed that part of it.
I liked that too. This would have been more investigating, but I just suck at it. If we're gonna be honest, and it's really hard for me to do a 4-hour like investigative campaign or story because it's got to be a longer campaign than 4 hours.
I mean, if you want to go to a specific ending, I think that the Sherlock Holmesian like board where as you uncover clues, you flip cards over and it tells you what the clue is. Because what that does is that, creates a railroad effect of where to go. The problem is those are really easy to solve because you can look at them and, a player like Craven, who maybe isn't as into the investigation part, will be like, well, obviously I need to do this, 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 and this to get to the end. And he will proceed to just do that. So that's the danger of it, but it does make it so that you can get to a specific end. But the way I like to do it is I don't have a specific end in mind. I let the dice decide. When you guys make your rolls, if you come to really good conclusions and you roll well, that's what the answer is. But I also do a lot of, secret rolls as the GM to see, you as the player, you may roll well, but you don't know that you rolled better than the other side. So you still don't know. There's still mystery to the player. But that makes it easier, I think, because you don't have to do a lot of really complex, like you only need a basic premise of here are the characters, here's the mystery, here's some possible things that you could be guided to, and then you just let it go. And I think that you hit on that basic premise with a lot of the adventures we did here. Because Nasher totally wasn't in the cards. That was a thing that just came out of letting.
That's true.
That's the thing that came out of making. You were like, oh well, he's got a mount and it does this, and then we helped you create the solutions to the problems. I will say that I felt like our characters were a little overpowered. That was fun for a couple episodes. But I wouldn't have wanted to continue another like 6 or 7 episodes like that. I was really wondering where you were going to go when we got back to Detroit.
Yeah, because you're basically gods at this point.
Yeah, I mean it is at the point where like the White Council showed up during the zombie episode, and this is supposed to be this big bad White Council character, and pretty much all the player characters were like, you and what army? We're not afraid of you. And we know that we should be from the GM's perspective, but we're not. There's nothing you can do. And at that point, it just became I'm just going to do things that are ridiculous for the sake of them being ridiculous.
Which is fun on a fate system. Like it's cool to be able to do that in a game once or twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get you.
I think that it was a lot of fun. Like I said, when the Halo guys showed up and we started doing super ridiculous, like, let's go do this and this, it became fun for a few episodes.
I was a droid for half a session.
It was good times. Good times.
Worst guys ever.
His whistles were on point.
Went
They're
on.
so good.
Yeah, it
Dude,
made
that
you want to
dude-
give him more credit than he deserved.
That droid just shit the floor.
No, that's an oil slick.
That's an oil slick.
Oh.
Speaking, I like the water bear shark and moose. Those were some good ones. This dragon for Iota, that was so much fun.
Oh, that dragon's coming back. That dragon's gonna be a reoccurring character.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there are nanites in space.
Totally. Yeah, the chalk. So Harold, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't plan for anything that Harold actually does or says. It just happens spontaneously in the episode, and then we just have to go with it. So all of the Harold devices, those were all just created on the fly. And the Harold gun that killed Kevin's every time he pulled the trigger. I had to I was gonna try to make a list of random pairings of the shot noises and then what happens at the end at the tip of the gun, and then I was like, I'm not gonna make a list. It's better just completely randomized whatever's going on at the moment.
I lost count of how many Kevins I killed, which was very disappointing because I really wanted to tell Kevin how many times he was
9.
killed.
I went back and counted. It was
Okay, that's
9.
good. Okay, I gotta remind him of that.
So that was just pulling the Kevin trigger, but I'm pretty sure you guys used the chalk a bunch that killed Kevin's. Anytime the thread was used, killed Kevin's.
Yep, used the stopwatch probably a half dozen times.
Yeah, in the very beginning, we used that way more than we used it at the end.
It wasn't as useful. Once again, because we became so powerful that the need to have a tactical advantage,
Right.
the ability to pause time and do a stealthy thing real quick. Plus, it was really always very nebulous on what it would allow me to do and not do.
That's Harold for you.
Yeah, I mean, Dresden system, the way we were playing it, I was having so much trouble at first, doing the rule book thing, and really what made it work for me was when you were eventually yeah, don't read the rule book. We're just doing this way, right? Whatever you want down. And I was like, all right, I can do that. And
just go with it.
Yeah. That's when that part started to become fun for me, because up until that point I was trying to reconcile what you were doing with the rulebook and I was losing my ever loving mind.
Yeah. One of the things that fate does is you just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. It is what it is. But yeah, it was good times. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else to say before we end this section of streaming? In this DFA season 2, episode 15, and then go on to
yeah, let's practice doing something we need to start doing on stream.
yeah.
Ghost, what's happening next time on your stream? Week after next.
Oh crap! It's probably Delta Green. Probably. It depends on how far we get tonight, but yes, Delta Green next time.
Okay. So next week we're having the finale for Edge of the Empire. So obviously not today, but Saturday after, where our heroes will arrive back home and face the climax of the campaign and the ultimate big bads that they probably didn't know mostly existed, because they never followed up on any of the hints that were given. So it's going to be fun and fantastic. So it's gonna be fantastic, and I hope they all live and have a glorious ending, just like this one does. And then we will be shifting the sci-fi side of the tabletopping to Traveler. All right, and Ghost, help me remind me as we go through sessions to start doing that at the end of sessions, because that's really something I should be doing and am not.
An nightcap. That's what we should call that.
Yeah, that's a great thing to call it, like a nightcap, where we say, hey, in our Exile Discord, in our Exodus Fleet Discord, these are the tabletops that are going on, and these are the things that you can do. Because that probably would do a little bit more engagement for people who are following up. And the silence is deafening.
Oh, sorry, I was writing notes.
Oh.
I'm all for it. We actually absolutely have to do that.
All right.
What happens next time?
All right, everybody say goodbye. I'm going to stop the stream. That way that I can export the end recording as its own entity, and I will start a new one in just a couple seconds.
Yep, and we'll do that one as DG session 0. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.